Hi children, I hope you're all well and you've been enjoying some of this beautiful sunshine. It feels like summer's here, not even spring. It's been so sunny. I went for a walk today and I felt like I needed to put some sun cream on. It was so hot. So it's been really, really lovely outside today. Now, who can tell me what day it is today? That's right, it's Wednesday and it's the 9th of April. And I'm going to start our little lesson now with one of our nature poems. So you remember we had that funny When a Fish poem. Well, this poem's also on the fish page and it's called Fishy, Fishy, Fishy Fish. Freckled fishes, flirting, flitting, flashing fast or floating free, flicking filmy fins like feathers, feeding from the flowing sea. And there they all are. Lovely. Okay. Right, I hope you enjoyed the story yesterday and I hope you had a go at designing a little medicine and creating a cure for something. I'd love to hear some of your ideas of things that you did. I did it with my children and they were in the garden and they were sprinkling bits of herbs and water. They had water and sprinkling herbs and grass and leaves. And one of the potions was to make you smell of lavender all day long. It was called lavender oil. That was Nina's. And I can't remember what Rishi's was for, but he managed to put some pepper and even a bit of red berries that he squashed up and it made the water turn red. He said it was a fire potion. Maybe it was for a dragon when they get sick. So today's story is called Stanley's Stick. And all about a little boy called Stanley. So make sure you're sitting comfortably and you can see and hear me clearly, ready for the story. Stanley's Stick by John Hegley. Get a bit closer so you can see the pictures really clearly. Stanley always stands on Stockport station with his stick. Stanley always carries his stick with him. Stanley's stick was once part of something tall and grand, and it will never return. But it can still be a stick as best it can. Stanley has a lot of stick activity. He likes pretending the stick is a whistle or a banana that isn't straight. You don't have to be great to be great. He likes pretending the stick is a match to catch the world aflame. There is a game after sticky game. Look, it's a dinosaur that isn't extinct. It's a Stickosaurus. Stanley has tried out some names for his stick, like Starry and Moon, but those names were all the wrong shape. For a while he liked Stirry, but that is better for a spoon. Stanley's stick is good for writing in the sand in languages that only Stanley can understand. Looks like it says Stanley was ear. And 4 times now he has used his stick to pick up slugs from pathways, platforms and pavements, saving them from a fate worse than feet. Stanley's friend Bertie has some string, and sometimes they tie the string to the stick's end and they pretend to go fishing. Because the fisher pretend, no fish gets hurt, said Bertie. So here is Stanley standing on the station, taking his stick for a short stay at the side of the sea with his mum and dad, and the train pulls in. Down at the sea, Stanley goes down to the side of the tide. His folks take stock of Stanley standing in the sand, stick in hand. What is he doing? Maybe the boy thinks it's time for the stick to be taken for someone else to enjoy. Stanley hurls his stick into the wide tide. Gosh, what a tiny splosh for something that has been so big in Stanley's days. The sea picks up the stick and tucks it into itself. Stanley is stickless. The next morning, back at their spot on the beach, the tide is out. Stanley treads towards the spreading sea. Boats ride, sea back out on the distance. Stanley decides to look for interesting sticks, for other sticks which could have been carried, Twiggy back upon the turning tide. Soon he stumbles upon a stick, all alone upon the shore. It's quite different from the stick he had before. It's wonky. The stick is an unusual saxophone. Stanley thinks of home and begins to blurt a tune for Bertie. Now Stanley stares at the sea through his stick telescope. It is wonky. And this stick Stanley knows the name of. It is called Fantastic. Fantastic. That's a great story. Okay, right. What I would like you to do for your task today is when you have your outside time, if you go even just out, if you have a garden, or if you go to the park, or if you go just to a little green space in front of where your house is, I want you to look for a stick. Okay, I want you to try and find a stick. And I want you to take your stick back and I want you to imagine what your stick could be. So you might like to tie some string on the end and imagine it's a fishing rod. Or you might try and tie some ribbon on it, and it could be something that like a ribbon stick. Or what else could you do? You might like to pretend to use it like as a bow and arrow. You might like to imagine it's a magic painting stick, and that when you draw it in the sand, what you draw comes to life. And most of all, I want you to think of a name. So Stanley's stick was Fantastic. I want you to think of a name for your stick. If you want, you could either draw a picture of it and say what it is and what it can do. Okay? Okay, children. We'll be looking forward to hearing all about your sticks when we're back at school and all the things that they can do. Okay? Lovely to come here again, and I can't wait to do another lesson for you tomorrow. Bye, children.